All right, welcome in everybody. We are here for round 4 of the GT Masters, the endurance race at Sebring. Everyone just getting final checks done, getting ready to get out on the track. It is a fairly warm track today. Currently track temperature is at 39 degrees, the air temperature is at 29. We can definitely expect to see some heated battles. Format for tonight is a 1 hour endurance race. Drivers will need to make pit stops. We're just here in final practice, 5 minutes before the race itself actually starts. But yes, it's a 1 hour race tonight. Pits will be closed for the first 20 minutes of the race. As everyone just control checking, safety car there, just making sure nothing untoward happens with the first group. And we will be looking forward to some interesting and feisty racing tonight. As we get a look at a few of the camera angles we'll be seen tonight, including the gyro camera, to check everything on board. New drivers practicing pit entry. Safety car has also come back into the pit lane after doing the recon lap and checking that everything is fine with all of the cars on board tonight. And we're just following Webb around the circuit at the moment. About 90 seconds left in this final practice session. Qualifying already done. The series, of course, having a mix of GTE cars and GT1 cars as well, will definitely make for some interesting racing, especially here at Sebring. All right, here we go as we come into the last 10 seconds of final practice. And there is the checkers. All right, here we go. Grid is about to start to get formed up. So they'll have 2 laps at the start of this behind the safety car to warm the tyres up. This is more for the GTEs as they will need the time to tyre warm. The GT1s, not so much. All right, here we go. As they start to grid up. And we will take a look at the starting grid for tonight. So on pole, we've got Webb, followed by Manette. Pullman's in third, along with Robinson on row 2. Row 3 has got Bowen and Begbie. Row 4 has got Ferguson and Lovegrove. Row 5 with Howard and McMillan. Row 6 has Watts and Old. And row 7 has Allen. 13 cars here tonight. The series also running a manual safety car. As everyone's waiting, I think the safety car didn't take the grid. So everyone's held on the grid. Safety car is now rolling to the end of pit lane. It looks like there was a bit of a snafu with the start procedure, and everybody will be forming up in grid order. That'll just be getting sorted out by race control right now to form up behind the safety car. Into their correct qualifying order. We do have, of course, 10 minutes for this warm-up procedure. It is only a 60-minute race. So it looks like we are just waiting for everyone to stack up in the correct order at the exit of pit lane. And the safety car is now rolling. So the drivers should start to roll shortly. And here we go. Drivers starting to roll. They'll, of course, catch up to the safety car. So just be sorting out the grid order right now for the start of the race. It'll be a rolling start. Right, safety car standing by. And the grid is now rolling. So it'll be 2 warm-up laps behind the safety car. Drivers are going to need to get those brakes and tyres up to temperature. They're going to weave left and right, putting energy through the tyres. Then on this first lap, they'll be trying to put as much energy through the tyres as possible, get them up to operating temperature. They'll then have to form up in the third and final sector on the next lap, the second lap of this process. They'll be side by side, 7 rows deep. And then the safety car will roll again at about 80 kilometers an hour until race control hand control the start of the race over to the leader, who can then go from any point in the start zone. Oh, looks like someone's gotten a little loose on the warm up there, trying to get a bit of energy through the tyres. Sure that race control will address that. All right, starting the second lap in the warm up procedure. All right, here we go. Drivers will be starting to close the gap now. As we are about 2 minutes away from the start of the race. So the grid will be getting formed shortly. And here we go. And everybody's starting to form into position. Safety car is holding. So drivers are forming up. Alright, and here we go. Drivers formed. They'll get a little more uniform once the safety car rolls. As we are about to start this 1 hour endurance race. Right, safety car's rolling now. And everyone's starting to close the gap. Here we go, ready for the rolling start. And safety car is about to peel away. Safety car's in the lane. And we're underway. Nice clean turn one from everybody. Webb currently leading. Bit of side by side into three. Looks like Holman stretching the legs down the straight. They come side by side into the hairpin. Oh, and somebody's already gone off, and it looks like 2-3 cars involved. I'm sure we'll hear from race control about that shortly. Looks like everyone's got back to going. Holman also, in all of that chaos, just off the camera, took the lead of the race. Bigby's also managed to get up to third, and he's followed by McMillan. On one of the GT1 Astons, the Lucky Strike Aston, struggling a little bit. They come down the back straight. That's one of the GTE BMWs in the background. They didn't catch who that was. Almost getting out of control. And Manette's in a drag race with, I believe that's Watts down the back straight. And it was Howard who got out of control. Meanwhile, Pullman trying to extend his lead. So circulating through a few of the battles right now. Watts trying to hold off Robertson. It's a much cleaner lap too through that hairpin. Oh, and who's that off? And that looks like old. Yep, it's old off in the background there. Like he just overshot the exit down there. Oh, one of the Astons getting loose in the background. Tyre grip going to be at a premium here. It's a 47-degree track, 27 air temperature. McMillan with a bad exit, and Lovegrove is going to go through. Here they come, heading in towards Sunset. Oh, and someone looks to have some pretty bad damage. Wouldn't be surprised if we see someone coming into the pits for that. And yep, that's McMillan. McMillan in the pits now. And we've not reached the pit window yet, so this will not count toward his mandatory stop. As it looks like Robertson went all the way around the outside of what's going into T1. Coleman's lead out to almost a second at the top end of town. While we're on board with Lovegrove now. Looks like Pullman and Webb starting to pull away. Begbie trying to keep with them. The top three have somewhat pulled away from the rest of the field. BMW's in 5, 6, and 7. Looks like Old is staying right on the back of Watts right now. Pullman's starting to extend a bit. 1.5 seconds the gap. So just coming through as well. McMillan received the meatball flag from the official, so he had to come into the pits. As Ferguson ran a little wide. Oh, big moment there for Robinson. Just barely managed to save it. And now we've got Ferguson all over the back of Lovegrove. There was also Allen taking an excursion off the track there. Ferguson's all over the back of Lovegrove right now. It's 0.3 of a second in that battle. Ferguson looks for the move. Thinks better of it. And Webb has just set the fastest lap of the race, so he's trying to hunt down Pullman. Pullman still with a 1.3 second gap. Ferguson really hassling the back of Lovegrove there just before. And meanwhile, Allen trying to get away from Watts. The gap to Pullman from Webb coming down. Webb really catching him up. As Watts manages to get past Allen there. And this battle between Lovegrove and Ferguson ensuing. It's down to 0.2 of a second now. Oh, looks like Old running a little wide there. Big B also receiving a slowdown penalty, so that's going to hurt him a bit. And they come down this long back straight. Into sunset, these two go. Ferguson on Lovegrove again. We'll see them in the background coming out right there. Webb getting faster and faster. Looks like Ferguson going for a move down the main straight. Webb's right on the back of Pullman. Howard trying to outrun Manette at the moment. Ferguson's still keeping that gap, but Lovegrove started to extend it a bit. It's out to 0.3. They head down this back straight one more time. And meanwhile, Howard and Manette battling in the background. Pullman's gap down to 0.5 of a second. So 3 key battles going on right now. On Pullman getting a little loose. He's going to have to try and really use the speed of that GT1. But Webb's all over the back of him. Really closing that gap down. This 2-car battle might be about to turn into a 4-car battle. 3 BMWs involved. Howard about a second behind Ferguson. And Manette's all over the back of him, about a half-second gap. They want to get involved in this fight with Ferguson and Lovegrove. Pit window will open in 6.5 minutes as well, so we'll see what the strategies are like. Who's going to pull out of the fight? Who's going to stay in it? As Bowen chasing down Begbie for third. Coleman under siege right now. About 0.3 of a second between Howard and Manette just there. But Webb is right under the back of Pullman. 1/10 of a second. That's the gap between those two. Pullman's going to try and extend the legs. But Webb's also got the toe. Could be a move here. Not quite close enough. Oh, and looks like... Oh, looks like something's happened to Lovegrove. Oh! Lovegrove's got a meatball. Let's have a look at what happened. So coming round the final turn. Oh, and he's just clapped the wall. So that's really going to hurt Lovegrove, and the pits aren't open yet. And McMillan is starting to make his way back up the field after his meatball. They're on board with the race leader now. Webb still trying to find a way through. Lovegrove into the pits. Now, the pits aren't open yet, so it won't count towards his mandatory stop. And moves on McMillan down the inside of Watts. It's a good move into T1. And Lovegrove's come out in P12. Little over 2.5 minutes till the pit lane opens. And Webb is all over the back of Pullman. Now, question is, will Webb go into the pits the moment that it's open? Because he might be able to get the undercut on Pullman here. He does have faster laps. Begbie trying to hold off Bowen now as well. Looks like Pullman's found a bit of juice. He just starts to extend the gap. It's now back out to about 0.5 of a second. The GTE just having such an advantage in the braking zone. And we're desperately trying to find a place to make that overtake. How wide can Pullman make that car? Pullman definitely using the straight line speed of the GT1 to his advantage. Little loose. Out of the hairpin there. Meanwhile, further back down the field, Lovegrove trying to make up some positions, and he's managed to get past Allen. Pit lane will open in about 30 seconds. So these two will have to do another lap. The pit strategy here is absolutely critical. As Bone runs a little wide. Here they come into Sunset. Pit lane not quite open yet. And the pit lane is now open for mandatory pit stops for the CPS. Minimum 30-second pit stop. And it looks like Webb's going to try down the inside. He's fully alongside Pullman. They're side by side through the next couple of turns. Old going down a lap between these two in the middle of this battle as well. Pullman's going to try and use the speed. He's got the inside line into the next turn. How late on the brakes can he be? And he's going to absolutely block that apex. And that forces Webb a little wide, and Webb has to filter back in behind him. It was a good attack by Webb there. Really seized the initiative. He's going to have to find a place to make it stick. Right now, Webb just needs some clean air. Pullman doing everything he can to preserve this lead. And there you see it, car 871 needs to enter the pits again. It did not count toward their mandatory pit stop. They went in too early. Webb staying out for another lap. Car 871 being Trey Old. So he will need to enter the pits again. He was a little too early. And Howard now into the pits. So he's getting his mandatory stop out of the way early. This battle between Pullman and Webb raging on. I think Howard might be trying to find some clean air. And Webb trying to find a way through Pullman. Webb might be better off pitting to get himself some clean air. He definitely needs to do the opposite of what Pullman does. Howard back out onto the track, and he's cleared his mandatory pit stop. He could be the silent assassin here. And yep, he's in. Webb is into the pits. So he wants to get some clean air. Now, if Webb can get out in some decent clean air and put some good laps in, he might be able to undercut Pullman here. Webb will be close to rolling out as well. So pit strategy starting to come in. Oh, bit of a moment there for Big B in the 46. And Webb now out of the pits. He has come out just behind Watts. That is less than ideal, because he does not have the clean air that he was hoping for. Now, is Pullman going to respond? That's the question. We're fairly close to halfway through the race. And he's going to try and outbrake him, and he has managed to outbrake him. Watts almost becoming vulnerable to Lovegrove. And that looks like Bowen. Bowen now into the pits. So Pullman's staying out. And it looks like we've also got Manette into the pits as well. Meanwhile, Lovegrove right on the back of Watts now. As Webb trying to extend the gap, he knows he's got to catch up to Pullman. So Lovegrove is into the pits now. Manette and Bowen have just come out. That lap 1 incident has also been assessed, and car 501, that's Robinson, with a 5-second time penalty for loss of control causing a collision. Oh, and Pullman getting a bit of a slide on. Manette's managed to leave the pits as well, and he's back in very clean air. Webb is now back up to 5th place, so pit stop starting to cycle through. As we have just about reached the halfway mark now. And looks like McMillan's in a bit of trouble, so something's gone wrong there for him. He's now 2 laps down so far, a clean race, no safety car yet. Pullman heading down the back straight now, really stretching the legs. He's got to be aware of Webb though. He's probably going to need to consider coming in very, very soon to cover this off. Otherwise Webb will get the undercut on him. No, Pullman staying out. And we've got Allen into the pit lane now as well. He's about to leave. Some of these guys may get their lap down, lap back once the pit cycles have finished. And Robinson into the pits. Big question is around the 124 and the 112. Because that is right now a strategy battle. It's 57 seconds the difference. But considering that it's a mandatory 30-second pit stop, Pullman's got to consider that. The GT1s do have to go a bit longer before they can reach their fuel window as well. But they will be in the fuel window now. They've done half the race. Pullman perhaps wanting to just make sure he's well inside that window. And Pullman, the race leader, he's into the pits now. Now the question for Webb is, was the undercut enough? Has he had enough clean air? As that gap is starting to come down, there's Pullman in the pits. And Pullman comes out. As Allen getting the blue flag there. And he has come out in front of Webb. And it looks very much like McMillan is DNF. Bowen now trying to catch up to Manette. So Ferguson leads currently from Begbie. Well, Begbie's just gone into the pits. So Ferguson. I don't believe Ferguson has done his mandatory pit stop yet. Oh, that's a time penalty for Pullman. His pit, it's a 10-second post-race time penalty. The pit stop was too short. That's going to have massive implications at the end of the race. And Webb is inside the striking distance, so now Webb is effectively the race leader. Watts is in the pits. Begbie just left. Ferguson currently the race leader. Still needs to pit though. We thought Pullman had managed it with the overcut. He hasn't. He's got a 10-second post-race time penalty. Meanwhile, I was watching Robinson trying to chase down Bowen. As there goes Webb just rounding up Allen. The lap traffic. Watts is in the pits. He's just left. And that pit stop from Watts might be called into question. It may have been a little short. Race leader Ferguson now into the pits to do his mandatory pit stop. And I believe Ferguson is the last car to have to do his pit stop. Everybody else has been through the pits. Ferguson waiting. Oh, and Begbie's lost a couple of positions. Now where's Ferguson going to come out? So it looks like Begbie trying to go down the inside at Sunset. Doesn't work. Oh, big bounce there from Begbie, the car getting up on a bike. He's gonna look for it into T1. He's got the straight line speed there, side by side. Bowen tried to hold it round the outside. Into the hairpin they go. Robinson goes wide in the background. And Begbie's going to try and put it all the way around the outside here. So they come storming down to the hairpin. But the GTE Corvette can be later on the brakes, and he's shown that. Still managing to hold the place. Begbie all over the back of Bowen. Oh, Begbie goes round. He's managed to find reverse, gets it going again. He's going to lose a couple of places from that though. as Pullman catches another one. Pullman desperately trying to extend that gap. He's got to outrun the penalty now. That's all he'll be focused on. Webb is going to be trying to stay inside that zone. It's down to 7 seconds now. CPS is for fuel only, by the way. No tyre changes are available during this 1 hour endurance race. The rear contact between car 46 and car 24 on lap 21. By the way, no further action. As Webb rounding up one of the back markers. And looks like Allen's back in the pits. And that'll be because of a meatball. And you can see Webb in the background. He's cutting that gap down. It's down to 3 seconds. At this rate, Pullman could... As you see, Pullman struggling through Sunset, but at this rate, Pullman could be in danger of losing a podium altogether. Just under 20 minutes left in the race. Everyone's tyres are going to be starting to get a little tired now as well, so they've got to watch the grip levels. The track's really hot now. It's up to 48 degrees. Ferguson here, he's just trying to get back to within 10 seconds of the current race leader. Because that penalty is going to hurt at the end of the race. Looks like Pullman finding a bit of a second win. Meanwhile, Howard right on the back of Begbie. And Begbie's got a bit of damage to the front end. Oh, and Howard's right on the back of him. Begbie's struggling into the turns. Oh, Begbie runs wide, and Howard's going to absolutely capitalize on this. He's got that gap down to 0.4 of a second. The front aero dam has got a reasonable amount of damage to it. That'd be from that contact with the wall. And Howard really closing that gap. It's down to 0.2 of a second now. As into Sunset they head. It looks like Old making a move on Allen. And Howard right on the back of Big B. Trying to find a way through. Oh, Big B's run wide. He's not going to be able to take advantage. He's going to have to give the place up. So Howard goes through and up to P7. "15 minutes left in this race." Oh, big moment there from Webb. He's gone really wide. He's going to lose an incredible amount of time from that. And that's the moment that Pullman was hoping for. That was a big lockup going into Sunset from Webb. Webb's just got to re-up and focus now. He's still inside that 10-second window. Webb is still effectively the leader of the race after the penalties have gone through. They'll have about 7 more laps at the start-finish line this time by. It's about a 2-minute lap here around Sebring. Oh, as Manette goes off the track. Just seeing that come through on our incident panel. And Webb starting to close the gap down again. Ferguson's just a little too far back to take advantage at the moment. We see Robinson, he's managed to make his way back up into 6th place, but he's got a 5-second time penalty. As you see that gap, that very visible gap now. 5 seconds between Pullman and Webb. Oh, and yeah, it looks like Allen has come back to the pits. And that might be game over for Allen. Looks like there was no dice. And yep, it's a meatball flag. And that is now confirmed. Allen is out of the race. So 11 cars remain, because Allen and McMillan have both retired. Track temperature is increasing slightly. Air temperature also increasing a little bit. Oh, and looks like Lovegrove has had a spin. See if we can catch a replay on what happened there. Oh, and yeah, by the sounds of it, he's just locked the rears. Meanwhile, back at the top end of town, the 5-second gap from Pullman back to Webb. These two have been going at absolutely all race. There's a little over 10 minutes remaining. As Bowen and Manette going around some lap traffic. So those two still fighting. It's about a 1-second gap between them. Looks like Pullman's managed to extend it to about 6 seconds now. Not quite enough, though. And the way that Webb's driving at this point, Pullman needs some divine intervention. And Ferguson here sitting rather comfortably in P3. And he's done a great job. He's the biggest mover of the race, up 4 places. And Webb's tyres might just be starting to go a little off. Because that gap is now extending. It's out to 6.5. There could be a flat spot on Webb's tyres from that lockup a few laps ago. But if he can just keep it within 10 seconds of Pullman. It's going to be 4 laps to go at the line for the race leader. Meanwhile, Bowen trying to hold off Manette right now. And Manette hassling the back of him. This fight's going to come down to the wire. Manette right on the back of him, a 10th of a second. Manette runs deep though. That's not what he needed, but also Bowen ran wide. So Manette's going to have to grab that back. As Robertson manages to wrap around the lap traffic there. As we head back to Pullman, fastest lap so far is a 58.9, and that's held by Webb. Howard's also going to be pushing hard. He needs to get within 5 seconds of Robertson because Robertson's got that 5-second time penalty. And Ferguson's sitting pretty for a podium right now. Six minutes left in the race. Webb's not really bringing that gap down, but he doesn't have to either. But also Howard has managed to bring the gap down on Robinson. It's down to 5.9 seconds. He needs to find another second. Oh, and Robinson spun. Robinson spun. Oh, several cars involved. Howard's also spun. I wonder if there was contact. Let's have a look. It's on board with Howard. No, they've both just spun it at the same turn. But that's going to have massive race implications. Because now Howard is right up behind Robinson. And Webb's starting to lose a bit of ground to Pullman. But we've got 4.5 minutes left in the race. Pullman does not have long. He definitely needs some divine intervention to get past that 10-second mark. And Pullman desperately trying to get it. He's got the gap back to almost 7 seconds. He needs to get it above 10. And there's Robinson. He's got Howard right on the back of him. Howard doesn't need to do a lot here to get the place. He just needs to keep it neat and tidy. Robinson running a little wide. So Howard really putting the pressure on. It's down to 1/10 of a second. It's Big Beat coming around some back marker traffic. The back marker getting out of the way. And Manette now right on the back of Bowen. He's right back up there, really putting the pressure on him. As they come in through Sunset. Looks like Manette got a better run. Because Bowen's really wide. It's going to be a drag race down to turn 1. They're side by side. Little bit of hip and shoulder there from Bowen on Manette. Manette's going to switch back on him. So side by side coming up to 3. Can Manette block the apex? He blocks it enough and Bowen runs wide. So Manette up to P4. Race leader now has managed to get that gap out to 7 seconds. Back to the battle with Robinson and Howard. And this is going to be feisty. It's down to half a second. Howard's just got to keep it neat and tidy. As we're coming into the closing stages. So we go on board with Pullman as he commences the final lap of the race. White flags out. So here we go. Pullman's got this lap. Webb's just got to keep it neat and tidy for this lap. He's just got to stay within the 2.5 seconds that he needs to stay within now. He is losing a little bit of time to Pullman. It's probably not going to be enough though, short of some divine intervention. Oh, and there is a 30-second post-race time penalty for car 871 on an excessively short pit stop. Late drama in the race. Pullman has the gap out to about 8 seconds. It's not going to be enough though. Oh, and it looks like Howard has spun. And Pullman will come through, take the checkered flag. But that 10-second post-race time penalty is going to relegate him down to P2 because Webb's finished at 8.1 seconds. So Webb has officially won the race. As the rest of the cars crossing the finish line, this man, Ferguson, biggest mover in the race, up 4 positions. Checkered flag is out. Cars now finding their way back to pits. And we'll just wait to see if we get anybody in the green room for interviews. Alrighty, and we do have people in the green room, just waiting for the podium to come through. Now we'll give it another bit. Alrighty, guys, welcome to the broadcast booth.
Cody, thanks. Hey,
man. So I'll start with you, David. You and Gert, massive battle both on track and on the strategy tonight. Just, you know, some really incredible racing. That 10-second time penalty though to Gert, David, giving you the win. How do you feel about that?
obviously pretty happy about that one. But no, it was really good fun. The difference in cars makes for probably some of the more interesting racing I've had on iRacing for sure. Like the downforce difference and the straight line difference. So um, battling with him there, a few laps in there was a lot of fun. I took the strategy to go in early once I hear the pit lane was open. I did a few more laps and I was like, oh, I'll go in now. And then I come out and just tried to turn as many quick laps as I could. I did have a little off at the sunset corner there, but no, pretty happy with it. It was a fun race. Very hot, track temp about 50 degrees, so kept me on my toes.
Yes, yes. I was saying during the during the broadcast with how hot the track was, grip was definitely at a premium out there.
Oh, absolutely. I really felt the fronts going off probably the last 10 laps or so, especially the last five. The fronts were really dying on me.
Yeah, I mean a low grip track like Sebring going over the bumps, the heat of the track, you know, unfortunately when you came out of the pits, you got stuck right in the middle of some traffic. How did you manage to actually mitigate that whilst trying to maintain your undercut?
I guess I had to try and be a little assertive with some of the cars there. I think there was one GT1 who had the fastest straight line speed, and I just really made the effort to get him in the braking zone. But that's something I need to work on with my pit stops. I need to look at where I'm actually going to come out at. So rather than just blindly going in and hoping I come out in a gap, I need to actually like devise a method of working that out or do some practice runs for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for your time, David. I'll move on to Gert now. So Gert, start of the race, really capitalised. Came out of turn three in the lead. How was it having David right under your rear wing for about that first 25 minutes of the race, because he was pulling some good looks to get underneath you there.
Yeah, that was hard. I had a good start, and then I knew I had to pass him if I was to pass him early, and then make a bit of a lead. I think I pulled a second or a half or something, and then he came back, and it was a hard fight. And yeah, the Aston is fast on the straight, but the GTE they will catch up in the middle part. Had some flashbacks from last week in Interlagos. We had actually the same. So yeah, it's good racing with David. So, and there was one time that I was a bit distracted from the car coming out of the pits, and I messed up the first corner, and we were side by side, and there was actually fun, clean side by side racing.
Yeah, it looked really good when you guys were side by side. You managed to hold them off just long enough to extend the legs of that Aston. Going to pit stops. What happened in yours? Because you know, of course, we got the news from race control that you got that 10-second time penalty for a short stop.
Yeah, I actually calculated it to go a bit longer than half, and then take not as much fuel, and I think then maybe losing 1 or 2 seconds over the 30 seconds, also changing tires. So I think, okay, let's do that, because my tires were feeling uh, pretty bad halfway the race. So I thought I could do both, but I was a bit late checking the boxes for my tires, so they didn't change tires. And then when my pit crew said, "Okay, go," then well, years of muscle memory, just
Yeah,
uh,
and you put the
just
foot
let me
down.
go. So
Yeah,
yeah, so
yeah,
stupid. But
yeah. I
and then I
mean,
came out of in front of David. I think about 9 seconds. So I thought, okay, plus 10. I gotta keep that up. But I made two small mistakes. I braked myself twice, and I lost about, I think, 6 seconds or something in total. So really my fault.
yeah, yeah. Just
Yeah,
that muscle memory is definitely hard to break.
yeah.
You guys seem to be managing the back marker traffic pretty well out there as well.
I think I had one back marker the whole race, something. So I think it just worked out well with the pit stops.
Yeah, definitely looked like it out there. A bit of a shame about the penalty, but you know, I guess that's motor racing, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, and it's all only myself to blame. So again, good win for David. And I think if I had stayed there for the 30 seconds, he would have come out in front, or really close, and then we would have had a nice battle for the rest of the race. But well, it is what it is.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Well, thank you for your time. I'll move on to Michael now. Really good race from you, bud. Biggest mover of the race, up 4 positions from the start.
Yeah, I think I got a bit lucky. Quite a few people in front made a few mistakes. It's just sort of capitalised on that, but I wasn't expecting to be third, to be honest.
Yeah, you were sort of the silent assassin, one of the last people to come into the pits and really made the overcut work.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought I'd start with a full tank and just top up, but then we had to pit for 30 seconds anyway. But yeah, I thought I'd make it work.
Yeah, absolutely. We didn't really see you having to fight many people out there today. So it must have been nice to spend most of the race in clean air.
Yeah, most of the time it was just a clean track in front of me. I had a nice battle at the start with one of the guys for a couple of laps, but then he made a mistake and it was just clean air.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys for your time, and good luck at the next race. I believe we're at the Nürburgring Grand Prix Stricker.
Looking forward to it.
All right, guys. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
And we'll see you then.
Cheers.
Alrighty, so let's have a quick recap of the race. We'll see if we can find the podium and results. Very hard racing out there from everyone, with Pullman, Webb, and Ferguson, who we've just had interviews with on the podium. Unfortunately, it looks like McMillan and Allen retired from the race today. Next round is at the Nürburgring Grand Prix Stricker. Not sure what the broadcast plans are for that, but if there is a broadcast, I guess we'll see you all there. From us at GT Masters tonight, guys. We'll see you later.
I was always told just to walk a straight line, but I was never